Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Sandy Kreisberg here. Fridays with Sandy handicapping session. Our candidate is Luka. He'll tell us who he is. But Luka, glad to meet you. Why don't you tell the folks briefly where you went to college and what you've done since then?
Okay, yeah. First of all, yeah, thank you for having me on the show. Really enjoying talking to you. Yeah, so a little bit about myself. I went to Boston College undergrad. I majored in economics there. I graduated in 2016. I decided to go work in the Republic of Georgia, and that's where I currently am right now.
So you're in Georgia, which is
yeah, it's gonna
far away.
Be,
yeah.
So it's gonna be on the edge of Eastern Europe. It's the Caucasus region. We have Russia to the north.
That's right. I was going to say it's part of Russia, but that would be a big mistake, right?
Yeah, Soviet Union,
not yet.
Soviet
Union. Right. Good. And so right now, tell us where you're working.
Right. So right now I'm working at Liberty Bank. It's a systematic bank in Georgia. It's number 3 right now in market share in loan portfolio. My current position right now is that I'm a risk associate, and basically I deal with portfolio quality.
Okay, good. Also, I take it the people from Liberty Bank or banks in Georgia or even the Soviet Union don't apply to American business schools.
So, yeah, very, very, very rarely. I know a couple of instances, but yeah, it's nothing major from over here.
Okay, let's get to your handicapping. The fact that you're from Georgia, that you work there, that you're familiar with the Georgian banking system, those are all pluses to business schools. You'd really add a lot to the class mix. What business schools do you want to go to?
Right now, I'm aiming for schools in the top 10, top 15. I really have my eyes set on Darden, Wharton, Dartmouth, and a couple other schools. I know those.
Yeah, you identified Yale, Cornell, Darden, Wharton, and HBS.
Yeah. So I added it.
So here's your handicapping, all right? The figures are you've got a 3.2 GPA, which is on the low side, a 710 GMAT, which is okay. Just those stats for your target schools, their median stats are higher. Like Cornell, it's 3.3 with a 700. Darden is 3.5 with a 712, and Wharton is 3.6. But half the class is below average. So there's room for people with below average stats, and you have a lot going for you. So I think with proper execution, you stand a good chance at Yale, Cornell, and Darden. You also might take a look at Kellogg. They go for guys like you as well. Are you familiar with them?
Yeah, I have lived in the Northwestern.
Yeah, they might like you as well. I think Wharton and HBS is going to be a reach. The stats are on the low side. Here's the way a guy like you gets into a school like that. You've got to really convince them that you're special and you can add something to the class, and then explain that at the interview. You seem like a Heimlicher guy to me, and coming from Georgia is a real plus. So I think your chances are real good at Yale, Cornell, and Darden, and Wharton would be a little bit of a reach. They've got a big class, so they might be interested in just the geographic diversity and the fact you're working for, they haven't got too many people from Georgia there. And HBS might do the same analysis. How do you plan to present yourself?
Right. So That's one of my biggest issues right now going forward, is because I have so many things that I've done, and I'm really working on really how to connect the dots. I went to school in the U.S. at Boston College. I studied economics there. I decided to come back to Georgia, and what did I really learn here? And I want to be able to present that in the most favorable light that I can. I mean, one of the biggest reasons that I came back to Georgia is that the exposure that I've gotten in my last 2 previous jobs, I was a direct report to the deputy CEOs in both companies. And these are companies that employ over
Okay, that's good.
people.
That'll be in the guts of your application and your resume. I think what you should present yourself as someone who wants to have through finance and through banking, you want to have a real impact on Georgia's development. So you have to give them a little backstory about, Georgia's a developing country. What it needs is these kinds of infrastructure developments, blah, 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 blah. And you're interested in doing that.
Yeah, that's correct. I also had an internship in Georgia, actually, with the Ministry of Economy. We had this great forum. We had a couple of prominent American professors come and, we discussed, what's going on in Georgia, what's the issue, and how are we going to move forward. But, at this moment, because Georgia's been a democratic country for only 25 years, there's a lot of politics going on. It's really hard to, get our eyes set on this is what needs to be done to get our economy jump-started. So I think that through an MBA and through a career here, that I might be able to take the leading step and, really helping out our economic development.
Good. That's the macro picture. And if you can, if those professors, do you make friends with any of those professors?
Yeah, I do. If I say my name, they'll recognize me, and I do know them. It was a couple years back, but.
Here's what you can do. You can get your formal recommendations from, your supervisor and people you work with. Right. Some of these, an American professor could write, even though you could write a note to the business school.
Right.
Hey, Luka's asked me to write a note. I worked with him. I think this guy, I worked with him a couple of years ago. I was really impressed. I think this guy is going to have a major impact on Georgian development.
Right.
Supporting notes like that really make a difference. So I would advise that. And then, boy, I think you're a solid guy. I think you should. You got an explanation for the 3-2?
Not necessarily.
Did it get better?
It did get better during my senior years. I mean, one of the things that, it's going to be on my transcript. I mean, I didn't take easy classes. The elective classes I took were, higher level, 4,000, 5,000 level classes. I mean, it was really about, getting the information out of those classes. I did try hard.
You gotta write all that up in another little note to the schools. What they want you have to say is, my undergraduate GPA is not a predictor of my success in your business school.
Right.
Not a predictor, okay? For one thing, I was, immersed in a new culture, and, the GPA went up my senior year, and you haven't taken any courses since then, have you?
I have not taken any courses.
No. All right.
I was more focused on the GMAT than.
Well, GMAT is acceptable. You'd probably do yourself better taking a statistics course and getting an A in it than taking the GMAT. But let's just deal with what we got. I think you're a nice guy. You've got a consistent story, and I think your chances are pretty good at Yale, Cornell, and Darden. And I think it's like a reach at Wharton and HBS. Okay?
Right. Okay.
I expect to see you in the United States again next year, and we welcome you.
Yeah. It would be great to catch up when I'm back.
Okay, great. Good luck.